Alright guys, this is Roger with Back to the Basics. Today I wanted to talk about something I saw Oregon Mike did in one of his videos, and I thought it was a really cool idea. I contacted Mike, and he basically he had used regular fishing stringer as, like, I call them D-rings. That's what we called them in the military, but you guys would call them carabiners or something else. But he had taken these apart and was making D-rings out of these to clip stuff to his pack or whatever, which I thought was a really good idea, which is why I contacted him, because I immediately had an idea that would maybe add to it. As you can hear, just on the chain alone, it's really noisy, and I don't like noise. I don't know why, but I have this issue about stealth. Maybe it's the Marine Corps, I don't know. But one thing he was showing us was how to cut these off. It's really not necessary to cut these off. I'm pretty sure that's how he was doing it, was cutting them off, but it's not necessary to cut them off. To get these off of here, and these are just regular, just cheap stringers. I'm not sure how much they cost, but all you do is unhook it here, and then you can push, and this thing comes right off. This is the whole mechanism here. I'll show you here. And to put it back on, it's as simple as putting it back in here. Put the little end in first, and then it clips in. Slide it down a little bit. Now you have the hook. So to take it off of the stringer, which is the whole point I'm doing here. So now I've taken it off the stringer completely, off the chain. Throw that to the side. Again, I'll try to get up close so you can see this. All I'm doing is pushing this in here, like so. It's hard to get this on camera and do it at the same time. Clips in. Now you'll see that it's really loose. I slide it down a little bit, clip it in. One of the other things that I had come up with was to make these quiet, because they're so quiet, or I mean they're so loud, that I figured that I would take paracord, take out the inner strands, and I'd cut a piece, you know, a little bit longer than the whole length of this, and I'll show you here. And all I do is take out the inner strands of the paracord, and I run this over the top of the stringer hooks. And once I do that, then I can put everything back together, just like I did a second ago, and slide it down, and now I have a lot quieter. Can't hear it when I'm banging against my hand, but it deadens the sound quite a bit. I'm not a big fan of EDCs. A little close to the camera. I'm not a big fan of EDCs per se, but you know what I did was I hooked up all my stuff on these stringer hooks here, and improvised cheap D-ring setup. So you can see it's really not that noisy. The only clanking you hear is the stuff I got on here: magnesium rod, my Bic lighter mod, a striker. I don't know what this is. I think it's like 20 or 30 feet of paracord. Here's another 10 or 15 feet of paracord with a ferro rod inside. Anyway, aside from my kit here, the whole point is now it's quiet. One of the other things that I thought about was that I can use these for a lot of different things. He had mentioned, Oregon Mike had mentioned that he asked me if I was going to make fish hooks out of them, and I said no, and I kind of chuckled because I thought it was kind of almost ridiculous. But he has a point. I mean, honestly, I think it would work as a fishing hook. It would have to be a pretty big fish if you're just going to use it like this, but you can at least use the wire inside to bend it around and maybe grind a point on one of the ends here, without the paracord on it obviously, but grind one of the metal ends here so that it's a hook. It's flashy and everything else, so the fish is going to want it. I would probably cut it off right about here and then bend it up a little bit, and I got a fishing hook. But that's all right on my EDC or whatever I'm using to carry the stuff around, you know, or whatever I got it attached to. So I almost have fishing hooks readily available. So that was a good idea that he had. I haven't seen anybody do it. I may one time or another. I might give it a shot going and when I go out and fish, and who knows, maybe I'll come up with something, or he'll come up with something really, really great. One of the other things that I was going to talk about, I'm going to hopefully have enough time to show you, but I'm going to show you what my original idea was, besides the paracord over the top of it to deaden the sound. I'm hopefully going to be able to show you what it is that I wanted to use these for, and we'll see if we can get that on video here in a few minutes. So anyway, this has been Roger with Back to the Basics. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your subscriptions. Thank you guys for following me along as I learn all about wilderness living, sustainable living, survival, bushcraft, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.